Hey y'all! Welcome back to my channel, vstreetlove. I'm Vanessa, my pronouns are she, her, and on this channel I like to make silly Sims videos. But there's nothing silly about what I'm talking about today, because today I am ranking every expansion pack based on their Afro-textured hairstyles. Yes, in America it is Black History Month, and in honor of Black History Month, I'm gonna keep it blackly black, black, black. In the US, it's out with diversity and in with discrimination. So I'm using this video to take some of my power back. Now, I have every expansion pack loaded up right now, and when you're looking through the options for hairs, especially these ones that are tagged as feminine, it seems like we've got a lot of options. But you and I both know that those options are very limited when it comes to Afro-textured hairs. And so today, I'm gonna get into it. So I've got my own little personal ranking system where I can determine how well each of these expansion packs does in representing Afro-textured hairstyles. Some of my considerations are gonna be around how many options do we have for feminine and masculine hairstyles? How many options do we have for hairstyles of different age groups? And how good are the hairstyles when we look at them through the lens of 2025? So let me introduce you to my rankings. I think when the pack does a very excellent job of what they have for Afro-textured hairstyles across all age groups, I think it's only fair that we rank them 40 acres and a mule. This is the top of the ranking, and this reference might be a deep cut to American history. So to clarify it for you, this is the same thing as saying reparations or upholding the promises that were made to the Black community in America. But I do believe that this might be a hard one to achieve. Maybe impossible? We'll see. Now, if the pack does a pretty decent job, but it could do better at representing Afro-textured hairstyles, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a nice medium rank of civil rights. If the pack is basically hitting what I think is like the bare minimum, it's not great, but it's not the worst, I feel like we should rank it freedom. You know, right there in the middle. This is the bare minimum of what we should be expecting. Now, if the pack's representation of Black hairstyles is paltry or not that great, there's not that many options across ages, or the styles themselves aren't hitting it for me, I'm gonna go ahead and give them a nice lower ranking of all lives matter. And if the expansion pack has no Afro-textured hairstyle representation, I can't help but feel like maybe the pack is racist. So let's get into it. First of all, I think we need a nice little baseline of how well does the base game even represent Afro-textured hairstyles. So in case you didn't know, you can actually filter by Afro-textured hairstyles in Create-A-Sim. All you have to do is when you're in the hairstyles category, click on this little flyout to open the filter panel. And then you can choose between Afro texture, straight, and wavy hair. So obviously for today's video, we're looking at Afro textured hair. And because I just want to look at base game, I'm going to go down here and click on packs and click just base game. So what are we working with exactly? I'm going to get rid of the feminine tag. I just want to see everything everywhere all at once. So yeah, scrolling through this, I mean, honestly, for the base game of The Sims 4, this is not actually a, hello? Why is she here? I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, I mean, when you compare The Sims 4 to other Sims games in the franchise, quite frankly, the representation here is okay. It's okay. We've got this hair here that clearly looks like it's maybe in that 4C, 4B category of Afro-textured hair. There's a part here, there's sort of a fade happening, and then there's kind of like more hair on the top than on the sides. I actually like this for a base game hair. Now, this is the hair that this sim already had, and this is like a perm rod set or something. I mean, I guess it's Afro-textured. It kind of reads as curly to me. And yeah, I mean, as I'm going through these and just taking a look, I think for the most part, these are fine. I actually feel like I use this taper often for like my masculine Sims. I have never used this mohawk hairstyle, but you can see the edges here. I guess, yeah, they do look Afro-textured. That's kind of cool. I feel like this hair is also a go-to for me, especially with toddlers, because I think this is like a toddler or child hairstyle. But I'm just gonna click through these really quickly. I mean, you guys get the gist. And honestly, if you make Black Sims a lot, you've seen these hairs, because I feel like once you make Black Sims, they just start to all kind of look the same because the amount of hairs that we have as options is not that great. Ooh, but these were base game ads from D-Sims. I think these were base game ads a long time ago at this point. I don't have the years. You guys can let me know in the comments. And then these ones were actually a collab with Dark and Lovely. These are actually recolors of hairs that we already had, but at least we have the option. And then I remember they gave us this one. Oh my gosh, I feel like this one actually looks pretty good. And they have one with and without the like fashion colors. Now we just got this recently and I'm confused why this one is here. I wouldn't consider this one afro textured. I would consider this one wavy. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing too when it comes to black hair. Oh yeah, and then they just gave us these with the baby hairs because we had this ponytail. Hold on, wait. I clicked on it earlier. We had this one for the longest time, but at the time I'm recording this, they actually just gave us this hairstyle with the baby hairs, with the edges. And then we just got these hairstyles as well at the time of me recording this. These are new for me. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like these are fine. But these are better for representation than previous games. Now for me, I wear an afro in real life all the time. So I feel like when I'm trying to make a sim that wears an afro, I'm bouncing between these two. And I do wish we had more just afros. I feel like we need smaller afros. Like if we had the same exact afro, but shorter, like for shorter afros, we have this, which is not what I would give all my sims. And some of these have like specific cuts. I don't know. We need more, but I think for the base game, this is a pretty solid showing. But when we look at kids, what does this turn into? So already there's a lot fewer hairs for kids than for adults for some reason. We've got these cute little pigtails. And then this sort of style, again, I don't know why this is in the afro textured category. I feel like maybe and then this one as well. I don't know. I mean, I guess this kind of looks like if you got your hair done, but even still, I don't know if I'm trying this. When I say afro textured, I mean specifically, does it look like the sim is wearing their hair natural or natural and styled? I mean, obviously black people wear their hair in so many different ways. We have wigs, weaves, braids, extensions, locks, just wearing it regular, natural, and even other styles that I couldn't think of right now. So when you look at it from that lens, I mean, a black sim can wear any of the hairstyles, but I today am just trying to see like, what does our afro textured hairstyles look like? How do they feel in 2025? Do I have enough, in my opinion, in 2025? And yeah, I mean, from what I'm seeing here, it's just like, you know, there's just a few styles that I'm like, why didn't they make them for kids as well? I'm glad that these styles came from D-Sims. This one, again, I don't understand why this is tagged as Afro textured, but I'm just gonna let it go. But I am happy that these ones that were brought to the game recently, these ones with the edges and the baby hairs, were given to kids. I think that's cute. And then the pigtails I feel like are classic. I use those all the time. This one, I feel bad for this kid. I didn't realize that they gave this to children. Poor baby, little hairline. Okay, and then we've got the braids with the edges. Okay, now what about for toddlers? Okay, so for toddlers, I don't remember this. Is this new? Y'all, is this new? I've never seen this before. And you know what? Don't gaslight me either, because if it's not new, I've never seen that. The rest of these, oh my gosh, with the little headband, that's cute. I feel like the kids could have had that one as well. Ugh, and these, so cute with the bubble beads. And then we've got like the curly afro again, the afro puffs, classic. And then we've got shorter hairs. This one, again, I use this one all the time when it froze. And then the little baby fade, that's so cute. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like base game wise, oh yeah, this is the new hair. Again, I would not say this is afro textured hair, but I'm glad that it's included because I can see somebody like doing their toddler's hair like this. And yes, they are technically black sims with afro textured hair. And then what about for infants? I feel like infants always get the short end of the stick these days. And wouldn't you know it, infants only have 2 hairs that are tagged as afro textured. Now, overall, I feel like the hairs with the infants category aren't great. It's not a great showing. And so if I were to take off afro textured hair, just look at this, like, you know, obviously bald, you know, what texture is that really? This one I feel like could have been tagged as afro textured. I don't know why it wasn't. And then what about that hairstyle that's like, there's a certain hairstyle in my opinion that is like, you know, typical for babies that where they're kind of like bald in the top and then there's hair like around the edge. I feel like they need one of those for afro textured. Okay, so when it comes to my ranking of the base game, I'm gonna put that squarely in the middle at freedom. I feel like we could have better, but it also is not like a piss poor showing. I would say it's pretty solid, hence right in the middle. Okay, but what about Get to Work? Get to Work was the first expansion pack that came out, and I'd like to see how it holds up today. Let's get rid of the feminine tag. I'm just gonna put everything on this sim. I did make a male sim to put everything on, but I'm trying to switch as little as possible, so I don't wanna have to go back and forth. But okay, it looks like we got 3 new hairs for adults with Get to Work. All right. I mean, yeah, I feel like I used to use this one a lot, or I still kind of use this one a lot because of the headband. And then we have a short hair with the part. I think the textures on this are okay. It looks a little low res, you know, when we're looking at 2025, but it's not like terrible. What about for kids? Oh, for kids, we only got one new style. Okay. But we got something. For toddlers, because the Sims team hates toddlers. And then what about for infants? Also nothing. Now, I will say that infants did not come until growing together. So there will be no new hairs for infants until we get to growing together. But I thought it'd be funny to click on this. I am going to hold the fact that there are no hairs for infants against this pack. Okay, so for get to work, I'm going to put that, I mean, I don't think it's like adding a bunch of stuff to the base game that is like super great. So I'm just going to sneak this right in here at All Lives Matter. I mean, there were new styles. There were new styles for adults and for kids, but not for toddlers and not for infants. Okay, moving on to Get Together. I may have said Get Together when I meant Get to Work a couple of times. Forgive me. It looks like, as far as Afro-textured hair that was added in Get Together, we only have one, and it's this side braid style. I am happy to have another braid style. I don't necessarily like that this like comes together as one. There's nothing here for masculine Sims, okay? That's going to be a point against Get Together. Now, what about for the kids? For the kids, there is no new hair for kids with Get Together. Okay, I'm gonna not take it personally. For toddlers, there's nothing new for toddlers either. Wait, are we serious? Is there only one new Afro-textured hair that comes with Get Together? Oh my God. I am disappointed. I am constantly recommending this pack for the club system, but as far as representation, is Get Together actually racist? There is one new hair. I mean, I kind of felt like racist would be for if there's no new hairs, but it's like there's one new hair and it's tagged as feminine. Like, I don't know. I can't even say that All Lives Matter because we didn't even consider masculine Sims. So unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to put my girl at racist. Okay, well, honestly, hopefully City Living has a better showing because that was a little bit crazy to figure out in real time. Oh, it's not looking good. Okay, let me get rid of feminine. Oh, City Living. Not more of the same. We've got one new hair. It looks like it's these twists that are pulled back into like a donut. I like how you can see the edges and they do look more natural. But again, there are no new masculine hairs for adults with City Living. Okay, can we at least get some new hair for kids? It's like, do they hate kids? They hate kids. Do they hate toddlers? They also hate toddlers. And I know for a fact they hate infants. Okay, I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I was not anticipating putting anything in the racist category so early, but I'm feeling like, I don't know. For the same reason as Get Together, all lives don't matter if there's nothing for masculine and feminine Sims. So unfortunately, it's giving racist. I mean, I guess that makes sense. If you have one new hair in the pack, it's not like, it's not giving freedom, civil rights, right? If we get to a pack that has no new Afro textured hairstyles, then I might bump both of these up to All Lives Matter. I don't know if we'll have a pack that doesn't have any, but I feel like those are the ones that is like, yeah, no, that's racist. There's none, that's racist. And then here, I guess we'll bump these up, but these will be at the very end of All Lives Matter if they do move up. Okay, moving on to cats and dogs. So cats and dogs, it looks like we have one hair here that's tagged as feminine, but what about masculine? Ooh, okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. All right, so we've got several different hairs here with different cuts. Oh, we got this taper style. The texture is a little bit low res, but that's okay. Oh my gosh, the paw print with the shadow in it. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But yeah, I mean, cats and dogs, obviously cats and dogs. And so, ooh, these styles are really, really good. Now, what's interesting is these are basically the same basic hair, but different cuts in the side. And I actually think that that's good. I actually like that. I wish the Sims would do a little bit more of that. Like we had a little bit more variation with some of the Afro textured hairstyles. Like if you're going to give me braids swoop to the side, I want braids straight back. I want braids with the bun, you know, like, yeah, I like that for us. And then here is that same hairstyle with no part. So essentially, we've got one new hairstyle that works for mask and femme Sims, but I think that this is a good one. It comes with a lot of different parts. Let's see about for the children. The Sims hates kids, and I don't understand what that's about. And again, with toddlers, All right, so here's the thing. I think that we only got one new hairstyle. It was only for adults, but we technically got a hairstyle that works for masculine and feminine Sims in a way that most people would use it, and it comes in a lot of different variations, which I do appreciate. So I think automatically that bumps it up from being absolutely racist to all lives matter. I might consider the fact that there was nothing for kids and for toddlers, if I can remember, honestly, because we've got a lot of packs to do, and keep this toward the end of All Lives Matter. But yeah, I'm gonna bump it up just for having something for mask and feminine Sims. Okay, honestly, I don't like being able to point to specifically not having a lot of stuff for toddlers and for children. Yeah, maybe seasons will change that though. So seasons, let's get rid of this feminine tag. Okay, so seasons comes with 2 hairs that are technically tagged as feminine and one that's tagged as masculine. Oh my gosh, this like braided into the afro ponytail situation. I think that I've used this hair a lot and I like this hair a lot. And then this hair is not necessarily afro textured to me. I mean, I guess you could consider it like a 3B situation maybe, with this bun, but yeah, I guess it kind of works when you're looking at the edges a little bit. And then this is the masculine hair. It's basically locks twisted up into a like ponytail bun situation. I was trying to show it more. I like this hair a lot. I don't think I've ever actually used this. So this is going to be good for me to keep in mind. I like the shaved sides and all of that. So this is great. I don't think I've ever used this hairstyle from Seasons. Now let's see about them kids. What do kids get? Already? Oh, okay, so the kids have 2 hairstyles. Ooh, okay, so we've got this braid into like a curly ponytail. Okay, and you can tell with the way the texture is in the hair, this is supposed to look afro textured. And then for the masculine children, okay, we've got this curly hair, which I feel like is very similar to one that's in the base game for adults. Hold on, let me see. Let me turn on base game too. Yeah, it's similar to this. But I guess it's a little bit longer than that one. So yeah, I'll allow it. We need the variations. Now, if you got something for the toddlers, this one might be a winner. So once again, The Sims hates the youth. Not entirely with Seasons because we at least got something for children, but a little bit. That being said, Seasons is so far the best representation. I'm going to put this to about the same level as base game. Like if you have base game plus Seasons, you've got some good options for afro textured hair, and so I feel good about this. Although so far we ain't even gotten civil rights. We've just gotten freedom. Moving on to Get Famous. Oh no. Let me get rid of the feminine tag. Get Famous comes with no afro textured hairstyle for adults. My heart. Oh my god, what about for kids? I don't know why you would give it for kids and not for adults, but I'm checking. Oh my god, I am literally oh my gosh, there's nothing for toddlers. Y'all, I am disappointed in you, Get Famous. We were rooting for you. Okay. All right. So I said earlier that if there was a pack that came with no new afro textured hairstyles, that I would bump these up. That being said, I don't know. I feel like one pack without afro textured hairstyles does not move these up, okay? They're all racist, but Get Famous is the racist of the racist. You know, Get Famous comes with an outfit that I like a lot too, so that's really upsetting to learn that there's no new afro textured hairstyles with that one. No new glamorous afro textured hairstyles, nothing! Okay, let's hope that Island Living can take it up for us. And we knew that it would. We knew that it would, actually. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of the feminine tag. Okay, so this hairstyle I know for a fact can work with masculine Sims, so it must be tagged as masculine and feminine. And I feel like one of the townies that comes with this pack has this hair. This hair I feel like is it doesn't really read as afro texture to me. Let me zoom in on these roots. No, I mean, I don't know. This one as well. Oh, I don't know. I feel like I mean, I guess this is really big hair also. I feel like we need to take it in just a little bit, but I know people have big hair like this. I guess if you've got Afro textured hair that's this long, it might be this big. And then this ponytail situation. Now this one, based on the way that it looks at the roots, this one looks like the one that I would really count as Afro textured in my personal opinion. So I'm getting 2 and a possible. 2 and a possible 2 is what it's feeling like for me, honestly. What about for the kids, for the children? Okay, we get 1 new hair for children, and it's technically tagged as feminine. It's the same one that they gave for adults, but yes, I would feel like you'd want this for children as well. A little disappointed that we didn't get a new masculine hair for children, but okay. And what about for the little babies? The little baby did not get that same hairstyle. And which I think that's so interesting. Oh, wait, when did toddlers come out? Hold on, wait. Okay, honestly, I just looked it up because I forgot that toddlers were an update. But the toddler update came out at the beginning of 2017, which means that City Living didn't have toddlers, but cats and dogs did. And as we've already seen, there were no new Afro textured toddler hairs in cats and dogs. There was no new Afro textured toddler hairs in Seasons, and none in Get Famous because there was none for anyone in Get Famous. So I just want to make sure I wasn't holding that against anyone. I probably was. But yeah, I mean, by this point, we should be getting toddler hairs, and there are none for Afro textured hairs specifically. All right, well, Island Living, I think I'm gonna put Island Living at All Lives Matter. We did get a new hair for kids. We got new hairs for adults. It's not completely racist because some of those hairs I was like, isn't this Afro textured? But I think that it's something. It's something. And so therefore it's All Lives Matter. So far, Seasons I'm feeling like is the best of the Afro textured hair representation when it comes to the packs. But let's take a look at the next one. The next one is Discover University. So Discover University has this hair. Now it does make me think that some of the hairs that I saw in the base game must have been added later. And I don't have the timeline on all of that. But we get this hair in Discover University that's tagged as Afro textured. It is technically, I think it was technically tagged as feminine. Yeah. Okay, wait. What about, I doubt that the kids got anything in Discover University because it's about university. Personally, my opinion about that is if it's an expansion pack, it needs to expand for all ages. I don't care what the theme is. Everybody needs new stuff. And I'm really disappointed to see that with Discover University, it comes with 1 new Afro textured hair, and it's just for adults, and it's technically tagged as feminine. Discover University, girl, I hate to break it to you, but it's given racism. Now, it's not gonna be any more racist than Get Famous. Get Famous had none. So we're just gonna go ahead and boop, bop this to the end, but put Discover University before Get Famous. Okay, so Eco Lifestyle. Okay, so we have 2 hairs that are tagged as Afro textured that are feminine, but if I get rid of this, that is it. We do not get any masculine Afro textured hairs. So we have this swoopy kind of wavy hair. I don't know. Sometimes some of these curly hairs, I'm like, And then we've got this hair, which is obviously Bess Sterling's signature hair. And because it's Bess's hair, it's like, obviously, it looks like she kind of got a blowout. I think that's what's kind of happening here. She got a blowout, or maybe her hair crimped or something. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I thought that Eco Lifestyle would have a little bit of a better showing. Okay, what about the kids? Did the kids get anything? And what about the toddlers? Did the toddlers get anything? And what about the infants? Did the infants get anything? Of course, the infants didn't get anything because they weren't part of the game yet. Eco Lifestyle, girl, I don't know. I feel like we had 1 in a possible hairstyle, and it's like, is that giving All Lives Matter? I don't know. I mean, I guess she had more than 1, but I don't know. I feel like Eco Lifestyle sits kind of like in here, in my opinion, like somewhere between the 2, but I don't have a between. So we're going to put Eco Lifestyle at the very end, I guess, of All Lives Matter. But there was nothing that was tagged as mask. I don't know. Maybe she's better than Get Together, but not as good as Island Living. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable putting Eco Lifestyle and All Lives Matter. We got more than one hair, but nothing tagged for masculine Sims and nothing for the kids. I don't know. It's not good. Okay, next is Snowy Escape. Oh, Snowy Escape has one new Afro-textured hair. Okay. Snowy Escape is actually the one that's based on a world that would be based in Asia. So Afro-textured hair representation, I'm not really expecting this to be super strong. That being said, they have this cute little braided hairstyle with some edges, all right? So for the pack and what it is, the fact that we even got one Afro-textured hairstyle, I think is pretty solid. Did we get anything for the children? Oh, we got the same hairstyle, but for the kids, which is better than what other packs have done, honestly. Yeah, I think that I am pleasantly surprised. And then nothing for the toddlers, but no one thought differently, I'm sure. So here's the thing, Snowy Escape, I feel like is the definition of All Lives Matter. This is a pack that's based on a world that's inspired by an Asian country. And yet it came with hairs that are technically tagged as Afro-textured. And that is more than we can say for even Get Famous, which is a world that's based on LA, where black people definitely live. Mind you, black people live everywhere, don't come for me. Now, when I'm comparing Snowy Escape to Eco Lifestyle came with two different hairs, and I still put it at racist. So I don't know. I feel like if I'm bumping this up to the definition of All Lives Matter, actually, you know what? I think I'm okay with this. There's something for adults. There's something for kids. It's technically the same hairstyle, and it's just feminine tagged. But, you know, at this point, okay, now to Cottage Living. Now, Cottage Living is one of the most popular packs. And yet, how does Cottage Living do when it comes to Afro-textured hair representation? First of all, we have this hairstyle with the little hat thing and without a little hat thing. I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like the little hat thing should have been a separate accessory. It shouldn't have been counted as two different hairstyles, but that's fine. This one is for Agatha Crumple Bottom. I know that for certain. And then we have this. This is a variation to me of what we got in, what was it, Seasons or something? I like this one. And then we have a hair that's technically tagged as masculine. And so it's almost like dreads kind of growing out with the shaved sides. These two hairs are what, Sarah Scott and what's his name, Scott? I'm sorry, I don't know the names. But yes, okay, this is good. So what about for the kids? Okay, so for the kids, we got those same hairs. And then also we got this other little cutesy little hair. Now it's interesting because this hair, we definitely have for adults. Hold on, let me see something. Yeah, for some reason, it's not tagged as Afro-textured. But if what if I do wavy? Yeah, like it's here in wavy. Now, obviously, part of this is, you know, did the Sims team tag the hairs correctly on the back end? And I'm not ranking whether or not the hairs were tagged correctly. I'm ranking what shows up in Afro textured. But I do know that this hair is also with adults, but it's not tagged as Afro textured with adults. But they want the points, I guess, for the kids. So, I don't know, it's giving cheating. What about for the babies? Well, would you look at that? The same hair for toddlers. For the masculine and the feminine. Yes, making the hair for all ages. And then, obviously, nothing for infants. Okay, Cottage Living is definitely really, really strong in its showing. We got one new hair for masculine Sims for adults, kids, and toddlers, one new hair for feminine Sims for adults, kids, and toddlers, and technically another hair that for feminine Sims for adults and kids that wasn't tagged properly. So I'm like, does that get extra points? I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, this is pushed up to freedom automatically. Like, if you've got Cottage Living and the Sims 4 base game, as far as some black hair representation, I think you're feeling pretty good. Now I'm sitting here and I'm like, does Cottage Living get bumped up to civil rights? The reason why I'm saying that is because I feel like this is the first time since Seasons where we're getting hair for every age group. But how many, but is it a lot? Is it more than Seasons? Okay, let's just check. Let's check. Oh yeah, there were no new toddler hairs for Seasons. I feel like that bumps cottage living up. I feel like it barely bumps it up to civil rights. It doesn't have more hairs than Sims 4. I feel like Sims 4 was just supposed to be a basis, and it's like, does having this pack add to the situation that happens in the base game? I think it does. So I think cottage living is going to be bumped up to civil rights. Okay, cottage living. Okay, now it's time to check high school years. So high school years, okay, so we've got 3 new hairs for adults that are tagged as feminine, but if I get rid of the feminine tag, we also get 1 more hair that's tagged for masculine. Okay, so one of these hairs is the braids with like the swoop bang that has the fun fashion colors as well as the natural colors. And then we also have this curly, poofy, kind of like ponytail poof situation with the roots and the edges. This is a good hair. These 4 hairs were really kind of like 3.5 hairs are, I think, pretty strong. Now, I don't remember if high school years came with anything for anybody else. I don't think it did. Well, ain't I a liar? Okay, so we got that same hairstyle for kids as well as having this hairstyle for kids too. And then what about for toddlers? I feel like I always talk about how high school years didn't come with anything for anybody else. And I'm a liar! Okay, high school years, as far as Afro-textured hair representation, we got those same hairs for adults, for kids, and for toddlers. And based on what I said about cottage living, that would put high school years up here in civil rights with cottage living. I am as shocked as you are. I am. Okay, moving on to growing together. Now, I specifically said I don't think anybody's going to be getting 40 acres and a mule, because I feel like that is that's that level of unachievable that I was hoping that it would be. But growing together might be coming close to that. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so this is when they started tagging more of the hairs as masculine and feminine. So if I get rid of this feminine tag, I guess we got 1 extra hair that was just tagged as masculine. I guess that's this one. Growing together, honestly, Afro-textured hair representation in this game is top tier. It is. I mean, so far. Well, you know what? Let me not speak. We're just looking at adults. But yes, we've got the longer version of the hair that we just saw from high school years. We've got the braids put into like a top bun, which I love, and with the edges, mind you. The afro poofs with the braided bangs and the beads and the braids going up the back. I mean, they brought it with this one. I was so happy to see these hairs. And then we have this shorter hair as well as the hair with kind of like the different colored roots. That is 7 new hairstyles for adults. Let's see what they did for kids. So for kids here, these 2 are tagged as masculine, but if I get rid of this, okay, let me see. Okay, you know, this is interesting because we haven't actually had a situation where we got new stuff for masculine, but not for feminine Sims. So something about that feels like equal rights, at least in The Sims, because everywhere else, nobody cares about women, but in The Sims, they don't care about men. So I think this is actually pretty cool that we got both of those hairs for kids. And then what about for toddlers? So I'm going to get rid of the feminine tag. So for toddlers, we only got this 1 new hair, and it looks crazy because there's extra forehead here because the the hairline is supposed to be pushed back. So this is actually, I don't know if I've ever noticed that before. That's not great. And is this really the only hairs for... Okay, yeah, no. Once again, the Afro-texture tag is working against them because we did get this same hair for toddlers. I don't know, Sims team. I feel like the lack of care of making sure that all the hairs are properly tagged, especially those that are Afro-textured, is, I don't know, it's pushing The Sims as a whole franchise down to all lives matter, in my opinion. And then obviously when it comes to growing together, we got a new Afro-textured hairstyle for infants because this is when we got infants, is when Growing Together came out. So they obviously are going to get an extra point, and they definitely are going to get an extra point for having Afro-textured hair as a, behind a paywall, I guess. I don't know if that's an extra point worthy or not. Because if I get rid of Afro-textured, yeah, I don't know. There's 3 new hairstyles and then just 1 Afro-textured. Well, obviously Growing Together is that girl when it comes to Afro textured hair representation. So I do feel like I have to put it in civil rights, although I don't like the whole tagging situation. That wasn't kind. That wasn't kind. Now, I would put it at the front of civil rights, considering that these hairs there weren't as many. I would consider putting it up to 40 acres and a mule, but again, because you don't want to tag the hairs, it shows you don't care about me, and I don't like that. Okay, so what about Horse Ranch? Okay, Horse Ranch, we've got 2 that are tagged just as feminine, and then 2 more that are tagged as masculine. So this is fun. So we got 4 new hairs for adults. We've got this with like a poofy bang and then like a ponytail. I've never actually worn my hair like this. I feel like this is cute in theory, but I don't know if this would work on me in real life. And then we've got this braid, this single braid with like these interesting parts, and then it's like poofier in the front. This is giving like a high fashion look to me. Then we have some straight back braids where some of the braids come forward onto the Sim shoulders. And then we've got some like a little bit of the shaved side here. And then we've got like the higher fade. Okay, 4 new hairs for adults. Let's see what they did for children. Okay, so for kids, we've got 2 that are tagged as masculine and then 1 extra one that is tagged as feminine. So we have this same hair for children. Oh, and I like how I can really see here. I didn't notice it before, but like the way that the texture gets pulled into the poof, you can really see it. It's not like perfectly slicked back. And then we've got these same hairs for children. I like this. What about for toddlers? Nothing. The Sims team hates the youth. And now I can actually look at infants and see what we got for infants. Again, nothing! I feel like that little poofy ponytail situation would have been perfect for toddlers, but it's not here. Is it not tagged as Afro textured? No, they just didn't give us anything. Great. Okay, there were more than 1 hair, so it's not racist. There was hair for adults and for kids, so it's not all lives matter. I guess this one, Horse Ranch, is sitting squarely at freedom. We would have been pushed up to civil rights if we had something for toddlers and infants as well, but unfortunately, the Sims team hates the youth. Okay, moving on to For Rent. Did we get any? Yeah. This is another one of those packs that is technically not based on a place where people of the African diaspora are known to frequent or live, even though Black people live everywhere. So I am sad, but not surprised that we got nothing for anyone else as far as Afro textured hairs. Okay. I mean, if you get For Rent, all hope is not actually lost, because there are a few hairs that you might even consider, like, you know, putting your Black Sim in something like this for her wearing like a good wig or something. But again, that's not the rules. I'm changing the rules to try to make up for Rent. And yeah, according to these filters, we got no new Afro textured hairs from For Rent. So yeah, I mean, For Rent being racist seems kind of crazy to say, because this is literally a pack that is supposed to be representation for people of the Southeast Asian region. That being said, I don't make the rules. We got no new hairs. Now, I'm going to say that Get Famous is still more racist than For Rent, specifically because Get Famous is based on a place that would have Black people in it. This one's egregious. For Rent, girl, what are we doing? Okay, Love Struck, baby, Love Struck. Obviously, Love Struck came with some new Afro textured hairs. Now let's see what we got for masculine. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. So yes, Love Struck came with this hair that has the Afro poof with the clip. And the little curly bangs. We got that in like the more fun highlights color, as well as just the regular just hair color. And then we also got this one. Now, I know that this hair, kind of like with the waves in it and the taper, this looks really good. We got this in multiple different side cuts. I know that for a fact. Hold on, wait. We got this one. Okay, I mean, I guess, I don't know. This could kind of be considered Afro textured. Okay, we got this one as well. But again, when you ain't tagging stuff, it's making me feel some type of way about it. This is the one specifically that was tagged as Afro textured, and I think that makes sense because of the waves, and I love that for us, honestly. And also, this hair kind of reminds me of the one that's in For Rent, but the difference is that this one has the edges. So this one to me makes a better representation of what a Sim might be wearing if they were wearing a wig or something. But again, let me not change the rules. We're just looking at Afro textured, and for Afro textured for Love Struck, we got 2 hairs and then technically a third one. Now, what about for the kids? Okay, so we got one masculine. Oh, and then the same one for kids. Okay, so I love that for us. We got the same little clip in the highlight color and then the regular color, and then this one with the waves in it for kids. What about for toddlers? Why wouldn't I want the waves for the toddler? What's going on? What's going on? If this, with all this hair, could be for toddlers, why isn't the waves for the toddlers? And then what about for the infants? I know the Sims team hates infants. I don't know why I'd be checking the infants and expecting anything different. So based on my rules, I guess this is gonna be going to freedom. I don't know why the Sims team hates the younger Sims. Sims team, if by any chance you're watching this video, please, from the bottom of my heart, do not forget about the kids. And then lastly, I'm going to look at the most recent expansion pack at the time of this recording, which is Life and Death. Now, Life and Death comes with one new feminine Afro textured hair, but what about for masculine? Oh, okay, we got two. Cool. So we got this one with the braid that goes into like a braided bun. This one I think is worn by Olive Spectre. And then we have this one. This one to me looks like a twist out that's like a couple of days old. And then we've got the shaved fade along the side. And then do we have these same hairs for the children? It looks like we do. We got the same braided bun with the styled edges. And then we got the same, twist out a couple days old type situation. And did you remember to do something for the toddlers? I don't even want to click on it because I'm, oh my God, it's Life and Death. Toddlers are the life part of Life and Death. And then same thing for the infants. Did you do anything for the infants? Life and Death is put in the freedom category, but not any better than that. Okay, y'all, so these are the final rankings. Are you surprised? Are you surprised by any of these? I'm feeling a little surprised. Get Famous, I think, is obviously the biggest disappointment for me. The fact that we got no new Afro textured hairstyles in Get Famous on a world that's based on LA, where there are literally plenty of Black people, the disappointing. And for me, Growing Together being in the civil rights category, I mean, honestly, this could have been pushed up to 40 Acres and a Mule if only they had hairs for every age group and that were tagged as masculine and feminine. Because if you remember, some of those hairs didn't make it to the feminine category. This to me is like the silver standard, not the gold standard, but the silver standard for what I want to see from the Sims team when it comes to Afro textured hair representation. And I mean, looking at the hairs that we got, even, I feel like there's just so much more that could be given to us from the Sims team. Not only as part of different packs, but it's also as base game updates. I guess let me know if you guys want me to do this again for the game packs or the stuff packs, because I did have a lot of fun making this video. Obviously, you didn't need me to do this ranking to know that the Afro textured hair representation in this game is severely lacking. So with that in mind, I've already made a video about some Afro textured hair CC that you might want to add to your game, so you can go ahead and check out that video now. Otherwise, there's more fun to be had on my channel, so make sure you are subscribed to my channel, you like this video, and you turn on the post notifications so you know when my next video goes up, and I will see y'all next time. Dag dag!